Hi, all. This is Jay Kerr, and I'm running through this month with various stories about my life to celebrate the launch of my debut science fiction novel, Thursday, which is coming out on November 1st. And in light of the fact that the last two videos I did were about the music industry, Eddie Van Halen and David Gilmour, etc., I'm going to talk about writing today and something that's very personal to writers, which is the moment that means the most to them. Now, for some writers, it's being nominated for an award, their first publication, and any number of things that are kind of validating. All those are important. But for me, it was a comment in a comment section under my story, The Old Equations, which appeared in Lightspeed magazine in 2011. That story was written by me basically to take a hard science fiction story, time dilation and relativity, and a astronaut who's going on a deep space mission and his wife left behind, and kind of make it very emotional. And one of the things I did when I was writing the story was I decided that I wanted to add just a little bit more. One of the themes of my life is taking a good idea or a decent idea and adding something that puts it over the top. In this instance, as he's heading further and further away from his wife, and time dilation is coming into an effect, and she's going to be 80, and he comes back and he's going to be 45, and how will that affect the relationship? The part that I added was that communication breaks down the further and further he gets away, and it was not an afterthought. It was designed by me to happen, but it was certainly not the focus of the story for me. The focus was going to be the fact that their ages were going to be so different, how it affects their relationship with him being gone. Um, but an odd thing happened, and this is what has become for me the most important point or part or moment in my writing career, was that it was published in 2011 in Lightspeed magazine, and I'll add a link in the description so you can click through and read it if you want. But in Lightspeed magazine back in those days, they had a comment section, so you could read the story and then leave a comment. They no longer do that, but back then they did. And the first comment was left by a woman, and she commented about how when she read the story, it really moved her, and it moved her because the fact that as the husband is going further and further away, he keeps sending messages and nothing is coming back, and he has to wait to see if they were received, and he keeps sending the messages, but nothing ever comes back to him. And this woman wrote and said, it reminded of her dead child, who and she said the story took her to an odd place, in her words, but it was one that really moved her. That this kind of story I wrote uh, connected her to her dead child, and the fact that she talks to this person every day, and someday she'll be able to get the messages back. And I got to tell you, I'm getting choked up just telling you about it. When you write something, you create something, and you put it out there, it's scary and thrilling and all of those things. But once when someone tells you that this thing that you created reminded them in a way that really touched them of their dead child, it's um, it's humbling and it's powerful, and it will drive you for the rest of your life to try to do that with more stories and more people, and to touch as many people as you can with the art that you create. That has been and probably always will be the most important writing moment of my life. Being published was great. Being nominated for the Nebula Award was great. Publishing a novel, which I'm going to be doing on November 1st, is great. But ultimately, none of that matters nearly as much as the fact that a woman was reminded of her dead child in a way that meant a lot to her via being transported there by my story. Thanks for listening.